Coming up on Sportsource, North Oconee baseball may have lost their head coach, but that won't stop them from trying to make history.
And a flag football player making history at Clark Central High School.
Plus, junior Ella Sellers with Jefferson Women's High School soccer team talks all about their run in JJ State playoffs and talks about her experience where it all started 3 years ago, her freshman year in the state game. Sportsource starts now.
Welcome to Sportsource. I'm your host, Evan Smoke. Winning a state title is hard. The hard work, dedication, and let's be honest, luck needed has to be at an all-time high. Now imagine trying to win your third in a row. I'm joined now by Sportsource reporter Elizabeth Hunter to talk about North Oconee's postseason aspirations in 2024.
That's right, Evan. The bracket is set and the road will be rough for any team looking to make it to the 2024 GHSA State Baseball Championship. For the back-to-back North Oconee champions, the path is even bumpier as their coaching staff took an unexpected hit before the postseason, making their team run a little different. The bases are loaded, the bats are hot. Here we go! And the team is playing as one.
We have the core here. We have the family. We have the culture.
It seems like the North Oconee Titans have all the right pieces falling into place heading into playoffs. Well, all except for a head coach.
When we got told, it was very sudden. I mean, to be honest, it didn't feel real. I mean, it was definitely a big hit.
Jay Lasley was the head coach of Titans varsity baseball for 8 full seasons with 184 wins and 2 state championships. He said goodbye to North Oconee on April 12th to take on the bright lights of the MLB.
It's definitely mixed emotions of happy for him and at the same time excited for the future and try to carry on what he's built here.
It was an opportunity that Lasley couldn't put on hold, which meant leaving the team without a leader just 2 weeks before they start their journey to state. Despite the quick transition, interim head coach Matt Kelly feels confident in the abilities of the coaching staff to fill Lasley's shoes and guide the team to another championship.
Every coach on the staff can coach any part of the game. Every coach on the staff is comfortable allowing that to happen. And I think that's just a really good culture that we have here is everybody works together to reach a common goal.
That culture is something senior Ryan Posnick says the team will rely on as they fight to become the first team in school history to three-peat.
And we have the best coaching staff in the state of Georgia, and as long as we have Coach Kelly, Coach Bounds, Coach Gobert, Coach Rice, the culture's not going to change. Nothing's going to change, and I think that's something we're very blessed to have.
For the Carmichael Sports Media Institute, Elizabeth Hunter. The Titans took the field for the first time without Lasley's leadership last night against number 2 Stockbridge. It was a huge victory for North Oconee, beating the Tigers 8-2 in Game 1 and 11-1 in Game 2. With these 2 wins, the Titans move on to round 2 of playoffs and are one step closer to reclaiming their championship. Back to you, Evan.
Spring is in full swing, and so are the collegiate golfers rounding out their seasons with conference championships. I'm joined now by Sportsource analysts Lindsay Bornhorst and Olivia Bontempo.
Georgia has a big weekend up ahead with SEC championship finals underway as they face off against some of the top teams in the NCAA.
With both Auburn and Vanderbilt ranked number 1 and 2 by the coaches poll, the number 21 Bulldogs have their work cut out for them.
Will the Dogs keep their stroke count low enough to outweigh the frontrunners? Or will Auburn and Vanderbilt continue to dominate the men's collegiate field? We'll take a look at the ongoing tournament right after the break. Welcome back to Sportsource. The fairways are green and summer is quickly approaching to signify the ending of another collegiate golf season. This weekend, the SEC Men's Golf Championships continue in St. Simons, Georgia, and 14 teams fight for that top spot. Olivia, what makes this year worth watching?
Honestly, Evan, the Georgia Bulldogs will have to fight tooth and nail for this championship title. With 3 days of match play and the final 3 rounds of stroke play on Saturday and Sunday, it'll be a competitive match for the remaining 8 teams. Luckily for the Dogs, this weekend is not head coach Chris Hack's first rodeo. The loyal coach has been leading this Georgia team since 1996, guiding men's golf to its highest level of success. Despite many accomplishments in the past, Georgia has only 2 wins this season under their belt, one at the Puerto Rico Classic in February and one at the Goodwin in late March. Both wins were led by the team's top 2 golfers, Connor Creasy and Ben Funvike. Both Creasy and Funvike are fifth-year veterans. Funvike boasts an impressive average of 70.21 strokes, while Creasy follows closely behind with 70.63 strokes. Funvike is a force to rely on in this championship with his level of consistency. He has 5 top 10 finishes so far this season, his most recent being second place at the Calusa Cup earlier this month, which also earned him SEC Player of the Week. He said in order to prepare for the SEC Championship, the team was going to be doing a lot more of match play and whatever they could do to create an extra competitive environment. Creasy is also a player to keep your eyes on this weekend. He excelled at the Puerto Rico Classic in February, shooting a 54-hole career low 14 under to tie for third. This graduate student's performance earned him his first SEC Golfer of the Week honor of his career and helped lead the Bulldogs to their first tournament win of the year.
Thanks, Olivia. It looks as if Georgia has 2 solid players leading their lineup for this tournament. Lindsay, how is their competition looking?
I won't lie to you, Evan. It looks like the Dogs are going to have some tough competition stacked against them this year. Vanderbilt will be coming in hot with some revenge after their 2-year championship win streak was ended by the Florida Gators last year for the 2023 title. In addition to revenge fuel, the Commodores have quite the team lined up for this tournament. They have managed to steal 2 wins of their last 3 tournaments at the Mason Rudolph Championship and Palma Valley Invitational. These wins have been led by 3 golfers, Matthew Rydell, Cole Sherwood, and Gordon Sargent, all with averages under 70 strokes. Another top competitor stacked against them is the Auburn Tigers. Not only are the Tigers favored in the SEC, but they're also ranked #1 in the Bushnell Golf Week coaches poll for the 2nd time this season. Their residence in the top spot is validated by a win at the Mossy Oak Collegiate in mid-April, which marked Auburn's 4th consecutive victory. The Tigers blew the competition out of the water with a final score of 46 under par, a win by a mind-blowing 34 strokes. And if that wasn't enough to prove this team miraculous, Auburn's leading golfer is freshman phenom Jackson Coyven. Coyven averaged 69.47 strokes per round and put up a season low of 17 under for 54 holes. He has also finished in the top 10 in all but 1 tournament this season.
Wow, it sure sounds like this weekend's final rounds will be an exciting watch. Who do you think will end up on top, Olivia?
Well, Evan, as much as I hope for a win for the Dogs, I don't think it's written in the stars this year. I think Vanderbilt's consistent leaders, paired with their fire to steal back the title, will be the secret formula for the win on the Sea Island course this Sunday. Lindsay, what do you think?
As much as I would love to see another trophy make its way back to Athens, I think Coyven is the magic word for this weekend. That kind of consistency and staggering leadership as a freshman are bound to make for an unforgettable finish in this year's championship. As long as Auburn can keep the momentum rolling, I think they'll end victorious this weekend. As of 12:45 today, Auburn and Vanderbilt are tied for first, leading the tournament with 14 under. Georgia follows only a stroke behind at 13 under. Whatever the scorecards read this Sunday evening, I think the championship is worth tuning in.
Looks like these teams are ready to hit the links, but we'll have to stay tuned for the outcome. Coming up on Sportsource, we catch up with a local flag football star who's making history. And later, we hear from one of the best goalies in the state. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Sportsource. The story of Taylor Thrasher is just incredible. She's breaking barriers for Clark Central's flag football team and will be the first athlete from their program to get a scholarship offer. Joining me now with more on Taylor's story is Sportsource reporter Tori Newman.
Absolutely, Evan, and it seems like this is just the beginning. Since she joined the team, she's been on a roll with offers from Point University, Milligan, and Huntington, all within a few weeks. I actually had the chance to speak with Taylor about all of this, and it's clear that Georgia's push for flag football has been a huge factor in her success. So Taylor, you received your first offer from Point University a few weeks ago. What was your reaction to getting that offer, and was this always the plan for you?
So my reaction, I was full of excitement. So I started jumping up and down, and I even called my coach because, of course, I wanted to share the news with her. But she already knew because she had talked to the coach previously, and he was like, "Okay, I think I'm going to offer her." So we were like, "Wow, okay, so this is new for us.
Yeah.
It's new for the program." But it wasn't the plan all along. I had planned to go to Kennesaw State University, and that had changed from the offer. So yeah.
Yeah. And then When you received that offer, you became the first person on this team or in this program to receive an offer to play collegiately. What does that achievement mean to you?
So for me, I didn't really realize how big it was for our program and for me because like I'm making history. But when it finally clicked in my head, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I was very blessed to do it all, I guess I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when this program first started back in 2022, they received a grant from the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation. And since then, there's been such a wave across the state of Georgia to kind of start these programs and invest in them. And I guess with your team and your success, what does it feel like to be such an example of what investing in this can produce?
So what it felt like for me was still, I was still taking it in, and I'm like, okay, how could this program grow more efficiently? And so I guess I pretty much started like trying to help it grow like more efficiently since I received an offer. But I want to thank all the grants and everything like for helping us make a mark.
Yeah. And why do you think it's important to continue to invest in the sport?
I feel like this sport is very important and it gets overlooked like a lot, and which is saddening to me because it's a really fun sport, and I feel like girls should definitely try it. Like, yeah, it's really fun.
And then kind of moving back to your teammate, Jessica Hudson, also got offers from Point and Milligan. How excited are you to potentially be teammates again?
We were so excited that we both received offers from the same school because it was our plan all along to go to the same school. Well, it was Kennesaw State University. Then that kind of changed from the offer. So we're like, yeah, what are we gonna do? But it was definitely exciting because she's my sister. So yeah.
That's great. And then finally, you had your senior season, but tryouts are kind of up on the horizon. What kind of impact do you think you left on this team and this program?
The impact I think I left was spreading positivity all around and setting an example for future flag football players like the upcoming juniors, seniors, or freshmen, like to really try your best, and you can make an impact like I did.
Clark Central's flag football program was already making history when Taylor Thrasher joined in 2022, thanks to a grant from the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation. Thrasher's participation alone was groundbreaking, and her recent scholarship offers make the achievement even more significant for the Gladiators. Thrasher already has 3 offers on the table, and according to head coach Sherelle Pass, she's in talks with several other programs. While she has a big decision to make soon, the team will surely miss her in its upcoming action, with tryouts looming on May 6th. Back to you, Evan.
Thanks, Tori. This is just the beginning of Thrasher's story. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, but one team is focusing on their game plan off the court. I'm joined now by Sportsource analyst Lucas Kochevar.
The Atlanta Hawks are sitting in a crossroads following another disappointing season. Which path will they choose? Find out after the break.
Welcome back to Sportsource. It's no secret that the Atlanta Hawks are in a tough spot. Rumors have been flying, and this offseason could be make or break for the Hawks' current core. So the big question, do they break up the star duo, or are there other ways to reshape the roster and turn their fortunes around? Joining me now is Sportsource analyst Lucas Kochevar, who's been digging into their options.
Evan, the Atlanta Hawks have found themselves in play-in purgatory after 3 straight play-in appearances. Ever since their Eastern Conference Finals run in 2021, the Hawks haven't been able to make it past the first round. With aspirations high after that run, Trae Young and company haven't put together consistent efforts to make the jump to the next level. This past season was rough for the Hawks. Injuries piled up, leading to that, well, let's just say not so great 36-46 record. Even Trae Young, Mr. Record-breaking assist himself, struggled with that finger injury down the stretch. He just couldn't find his usual all-star rhythm. DeJounte Murray tried to pick up the slack, and sure, he had some clutch moments. Remember beating the Celtics? But the Hawks still couldn't make it work without Trae. Then add in the play-in loss to Chicago, another year, another early exit. Talk about a major letdown after that amazing conference finals run. So the big question now, what the heck do the Hawks do? The rumor mill's going crazy about trading away one of their star guards, but who do they keep? That's a tough call. Trae Young, the OG Hawk since 2018, is basically the face of the team. The guy drops 25 points and 10 assists a night. He shoots from half court and is a total playmaking wizard. Then there's DeJounte Murray. The Spurs trainee who brings that two-way intensity, his mid-range shot is lethal, and he's a defensive pest. They are both awesome, but like Brad Rowland from Locked On Hawks says, something's just not clicking.
I think it's possible for it to work together, but it hasn't, if that makes sense. I feel like we have 2 years of sample size to tell you that it's not probably going to work. There might be a way to work around the margins where the weaknesses are minimized, the strengths are maximized, et cetera. But I feel like we've probably seen a decent enough sample now to know that it doesn't work, especially this year, without going fully in the numbers. Like, they were actually at their worst as a team when they played together.
Evan, choosing between Young and Murray, that's a head scratcher. You can make a case for keeping Murray. He's cheaper, a more traditional point guard, but with Trey, man, the team's upside is sky high. This guy's averaged 26 and 10 for the past 4 seasons. That's legendary stuff. Even if they're not gelling perfectly right now, it feels like the Hawks are going to break this duo up after just 2 seasons. Remember those trade rumors swirling around Murray at the trade deadline? Brad Rowland seems to think there's fire behind that smoke.
I do think that a breakup of some kind is the right decision. If I had to guess, I think they're going to do it in one way or the other. It's not guaranteed. I think if they don't get what they want, they could run it back again with those 2 guys. So I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion, but if I had to estimate right now, based on what I hear, just logic and around the league, like I think if I had to guess, that they'll probably move on from DeJounte Murray.
Evan, no matter who they keep, Young or Murray, the Hawks have a ton of work to do with the rest of their roster. I mean, they can score the best of them, but that defense, opposing teams run through the Hawks like a knife through butter, giving up 120 points a game. That's almost dead last in the league. They're going to get torched every night if they don't make some changes.
Lucas, we know the Hawks' defense has been a problem. Assuming they keep their centers, what kind of players should the front office target to solidify that side of the ball?
Well, Evan, usually when a team's defense is struggling, you start by looking at the big man in the middle. But the Hawks actually have 2 solid centers who can hold down the paint. Clint Capella's getting older, sure, but Onyeka Okongwu could step into that starting role and do just fine. To really fix that defense, they need some 3-and-D wings, guys who can shoot and defend multiple positions. Remember breakout player Jalen Johnson? He went down with that ankle injury, and the lack of depth forward spots really hurt. They need bigger guys who can hustle and bring that defensive energy. Problem is, the Hawks don't have much money to throw around in free agency, so they'll probably need to make a trade if they want experienced players. That's tough too, since they gave up a bunch of draft picks in the Murray deal. They've got 1 pick in 2024 and it's sitting around the 10th spot right now.
The NBA draft is 2 months away from today. How might the Hawks use their pick this June?
Evan, the Hawks have some options with this draft pick, but a lot of it depends on the trades they make beforehand. Like if they deal DeAndre Hunter, they could totally snag a shot-creating small forward like Dalton Knecht from Tennessee. That dude was up for Player of the Year and even went head-to-head with Zach Edey in the tournament. Brad Rowland's got a few other names on his radar too.
The wings wing/forwards are really interesting too. Modest Buzelis, who actually played in the G League this year in the G League Ignite program, is a really intriguing 6'10" forward. Does a lot of things well. And then a couple of pretty athletic, kind of not pretty toolsy guys, not proven just yet, but Ron Holland, who also played in the G League this year, is someone I like a lot. Good athlete on the wing. And then Cody Williams, who actually the brother of Jalen Williams, who plays for the Thunder right now, who was at Colorado this year as a one and done. So it's super early, like you said, that's 5 names, but the Hawks could, in theory, get a top 4 pick. They're going to have about a 15% chance of doing that. That's not a huge chance, but it's possible they moved up. But if they don't, they're going to be 10 or 11 range, which is, I think there'll be some guys that you like in that range.
Everyone's saying this draft class is kind of weak, but hey, look back to 2013. Everyone thought that class was nothing special too. Turns out that's when the Bucks took a chance on small Greek forward Giannis Antetokounmpo. There could be another diamond in the rough hiding out there.
Unfortunately, like you mentioned, the Hawks do not have a lot of cap space to work with this summer. So what trade targets should fans be excited about?
Yeah, Evan, the Hawks don't have a lot of wiggle room. But hey, sometimes you can benefit when other teams tank and start unloading players. Someone like Andrew Wiggins from the Warriors could be interesting. Sure, the guy's got a big contract, but he's a former #1 pick and he's got that championship ring, and he brings some much-needed scoring punch to the Hawks. Or even Alex Caruso. Imagine him on this Hawks team bringing that defensive intensity, especially if the Bulls decide to blow things up. Bottom line, this offseason is a make or break for Atlanta. They could try to patch things up and contend, do a bit of a retool, or a full-on rebuild. It's going to be a wild summer, and I can't wait to see how they try to bring that first championship home to Atlanta.
Thanks, Lucas. We'll keep our eyes locked on the Hawks' moves this summer. Coming up on Sportsource, we take a deeper dive into Jefferson's college-bound goalie, Ella Sellers. And later, one of our reporters hits campus to see what mascots students prefer for the upcoming local hockey team. Don't go anywhere. Sportsource will be right back. Welcome back to Sportsource. We now turn our attention to the pitch. The Jefferson girls soccer team is having a historic season, and you don't have to look any further than their goalie. I'm joined now by Sportsource analyst Sarah Sims with more on the junior from Jefferson.
Thanks, Evan. This goalie is a force to be reckoned with. Ella Sellers, however, is more than just a goalie. She is one of the leaders for this team. Jefferson just pushed past Chattahoochee on Tuesday with a 3-2 victory to head to the Elite Eight. Let's take a look at Sellers' path. To her team, Ella Sellers is more than just a keeper. She's a friend, a mentor, and the heartbeat of the Dragons.
I think having her freshman year with that senior leadership kind of propelled her into what we see now. She knows how to lead it. They listen to her. They respect her. They follow her.
Ella's bond with her teammates run deep, and it fuels her on the field.
I don't have any sisters, so me coming on this field, my sisters and my siblings, just them being so kind and so useful for me has helped me so much to get through this year.
Ella's breakout performance in the state championship as a freshman set the stage, and since then, her relentless work ethic has elevated her game.
I think I've grown the most from my leadership, me being the leader on the field I am now compared to my freshman year when everybody else around me was the leader and I was the freshman, but now I can be the leader with those freshmen.
Her dedication doesn't stop with the Dragons. Ella mentors younger players, sharpening her own skills while building a legacy of leadership. But even the best have room to grow, and Ella's focus this season has been on her one-on-ones, her communication, and maintaining composure under pressure. The keys to playoff success.
This is playoffs, so anything goes. It's a winner-in mentality. She's rallied the troops, is what I've called it, and I feel like that composure, we're just going to see it we're going to see it being taken to the next level.
There's only been one goal allowed on Ella's watch this season. With her junior year winding down, she's savoring every moment, leading her team one step at a time. Ella understands that the team dynamic is crucial, and she shares her hard-earned wisdom with the younger players.
It's really it's not nerve-wracking to me, but I know it is for the younger players, but I just take one game at a time.
Her talent is undeniable. Ella's already committed to play at Middle Tennessee.
There's no doubt in my mind that wherever she goes, she's going to be, that standard of excellence is going to carry with her.
It's not just Coach McCarty who sees Ella's greatness. Her Mama Ella persona embodies trust and support on and off the field.
But as far as Mama Ella, I'd trust her with anything. So, she's always rose to the occasion.
With her confidence, skill, and the Dragons behind her, Ella's the force to watch in these playoffs games. Reporting for the Carmichael Sports Media Institute, I'm Sarah Sims. The player Sellers used to be has grown into the strong, competitive player she is today. Her hopes is to lead her team to the state game and take home the state title. But just like she says, just one game at a time. Back to you, Evan.
Thanks, Sarah. Jefferson will host Northgate High next Monday in the quarterfinal round of the GHSA 5A state playoff. This past basketball season was a wild ride here in the greater Athens area. I am joined now by Sportsource analysts Micaiah Costin and Avi Young with more of the players who made it so special.
Exactly, Evan. After the break, we're shining a spotlight on these athletes and what lies ahead of them as they train this offseason.
After combing through Athens' talent pool, we've chosen 6 standout players who lit up the court this season. Don't go away. Sportsource returns after this short break.
Welcome back to Sportsource. The Athens area brought its A game to the court this season. Micaiah Costin and Avi Young, our Sportsource analysts, are here to break down the area's top high school talent. Micaiah, you've got a great mix of boys and girls on your list. Tell us what made these athletes stand out.
Well, Evan, I wanted to highlight 3 athletes that caught my attention. We have Rocky Sapp, Justin Wise, and Marcus Gillespie. Starting with Rocky Sapp, a sophomore who plays at Bethlehem High Christian Academy, gained a high 35.55% of votes for the Athens Banner Herald Postseason Girls Basketball Player of the Year poll, averaging 7 points and around 4 rebounds per game this past season. Sapp displays her dominance and leadership through her skill set. Also a softball player, Sap has a dual ability to read plays and switch between the two almost effortlessly. Showing her prowess as just a sophomore, she has a bright 2 more years ahead of her high school career. Justin Wise is a freshman playing on a starting 5 varsity team at North Oconee High School, getting voted for Athens Banner Herald postseason boys basketball player of the year due to Athens Banner Herald. Wise is a powerhouse and helped his team win a state championship. Averaging 13.7 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, he scored 19 points in the state finals and earned himself his first ever all-region second-team honors. His coach says he's a selfless player and mature for his age, as he isn't a typical freshman in skill and mindset.
He comes from a great family of athletes, and he's very special. You know, he does well in class, but his love is really the basketball side of things, and he's just really been born and raised to be a basketball star. But super fun guy, likable, team player, but a special talent, and we're super excited that he's with us at North Oconee.
Wise has a solid road ahead of him and will be able to continue to make major impacts as his career continues to thrive. The last player I wanted to highlight is Marcus Gillespie. Now, if you've been following Athens basketball, you might have heard his name bounce around a few times. Gillespie is a copious scorer for Clark Central High School, averaging up to 30 points per game and displaying versatility playing point guard, shooting guard, and small forward. Gillespie wants to be known as a well-rounded player and show off all the multiple abilities he possesses around the court. Gillespie also joined the 1,000-point club in his career, which he accomplished in just 1.5 years. Showing leadership abilities as he sets the tone and pays for his teammates just goes to show how impactful this player is and what he can accomplish as he nears his last year. Fans and spectators are looking forward to what Gillespie has in store as we look forward to the next season.
Thanks, Micaiah. Those top prospects have some promising futures. We now turn our attention to Avi. What high school superstars are poised to contribute at the next level?
Evan, I'm going to focus on 3 seniors who shined in the final season of their high school careers: Bird Carter, Hampton Ford, and Denham Goddard. First, Bird Carter, a teammate of Justin Wise on the state champion North Oconee Titans. The senior guard averaged 14 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.5 steals per game last season. This led to a 4A first-team All-State selection, making him the first player in North Oconee history to earn All-State honors twice. He also earned all-region honors for the 3rd year in a row. Carter will go down in history as a Titan legend, finishing his career with 1,189 points, putting him over the mark to be a member of the exclusive 1,000-point club. He played a vital role in the Titans' state title run, showing off his clutch gene. In the state championship game against Holy Innocents, Carter led his team in scoring with 20 points to end his Titan career strong.
You know, he's a clutch guy. Last year, for example, as a junior, we made it to the Sweet 16, but he had 34 points and 29 points in the 2 playoff games. I mean, that is getting the job done when it matters the most. But so he's a very clutch player, 3-year starter.
The senior is a college caliber player, but is taking other factors into consideration when making his college decision. Along with his impact on the court, North Oconee will miss Carter's leadership and character next season.
He fulfilled every goal we had. I remember him saying at the beginning of this season, "Coach, we can win the region championship and get to the Final Four." And, you know, he thought we could win the state championship. And I was like, man, I mean, I love what he's saying, but I got to see it happen, you know. But he believed it, and every goal he had, you know, he checked the box.
The next standout senior, Hampton Ford, provided leadership and skill for his team. The senior point guard had a very impressive season for Athens Christian, averaging 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. Ford, alongside his younger brother Harper, led Athens Christians to win the 8A D1 region title before falling short in the 2nd round of the state tournament. The brothers led their team in scoring and brought some extra competitive juice to the team when on the court together. Ford had to make some room in the trophy case after last season. Along with the region title, Ford was named Region 8A Player of the Year. He was also selected as 1A D1 All-State Player of the Year and GACA Co-Player of the Year. The 3rd player, Denham Goddard, is another senior guard who earned plenty of accolades over her 4 years playing for Oglethorpe County. In her senior season, Goddard averaged 17.7 points, 4.4 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 3.6 steals per game. She led her team to an impressive 23-3 record, capped by an undefeated region title. Goddard is another school legend herself. She won Region 5A D1 Player of the Year for the second consecutive season, a truly remarkable feat. She also joined the 1,000-point club, going down as an all-time Patriot grade. Now, back to you, Evan.
Thanks, Avi. We can't wait to see what all these Athens area seniors do in their futures. Next up on Sportsource, Athens is getting a new professional hockey team. But what should the name be? Students weigh in next after the break. Welcome back to Sportsource. With the Stanley Cup playoffs underway, everyone is turning their attention to the ice, and slap shots are just around the corner for the Classic City. I am joined now by Sportsource analyst Savannah Hernandez, who has the inside dish on hockey here in Athens.
You got it, Evan. UGA's hockey fever is reaching a whole new level. The Ice Dogs have been packing the Classic Center for a decade, and now the arena is getting a major upgrade. A new pro team is coming to town, and fans get to pick the name. I hit UGA's campus to hear what students think the best name is.
Athens is getting a pro hockey team, and right now votes are out for what their name should be. We have the Athenians, the Rock Lobsters, the Athens City Panic, and of course the Athens Owls. So which one's your vote and why?
The Athenians, because they sound rough. They are not going to play. They're going to come out and they're going to be rough with you. Don't play with them.
Yeah. Intimidating name.
Yeah, don't play with them. It's giving Greece. It's giving like, is the Romans there? I don't know. It's just giving rough. Yeah.
Classic City Panic, because it sounds the most intimidating and it sets panic to the other team.
My vote is the Athenians because I feel like the Athenians is like the Athens in Greece, and so I feel like it just fits Athens the most, and it's the least corny of the other one.
I vote for the Athenians. I think it's really cool. Goes with the city name. And it's like ancient Greek. I don't know, kind of cool.
I also like the Athenians. I think it's just really cool. It like brings the place name into the name of the team.
I honestly really like the answer of the Rock Lobsters, largely because Athens is very well known for its music scene, and I think that naming it after, I think what is a high point in Athens' music scene really, commemorates that element of Athens, and I think it's very important for, Athens to kind of be its own town, not just a town known for the University of Georgia. I think that naming it after something that is somewhat independent of the university really helps to put Athens on its own stage and separate in a way from the University of Georgia.
I really think the Athenian name will be really great. There's a lot of history when it comes to just Athens and battles, and that's what really pops up in my head. I love thinking about ancient Greece, and it just brings me back to this moment right now, just thinking about hockey. I'm just excited to see where this hockey team goes, and I think a great name like that is a great way to start it off.
Get in on the action and cast your vote at athensprohockey.com. I love the ring of Classic City Panic, but anything is possible. The suspense is killing me, but we'll find out when the team hits the ice for their home opener October 26th. Back to you, Evan.
Thanks, Savannah. Athenians should keep their ears close to the ice as the inaugural season is fast approaching this fall. Don't go away. We've got a special goodbye after the break. Welcome back to Sportsource for the final time here in spring 2024. We wanted to thank our production crew, Professor Lawson, and you, the audience, for helping us pull this off every 2 weeks. Have a great summer and go Dogs. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching.